Hey everybody, this is Justin Harris, the broker at Old Drum Real Estate, and I'm making my first video here for a very specific reason. I've been putting on my website and on our Facebook page for at least a year now, every month, the local market update for Johnson County, Missouri. I thought it might be of interest to people who follow real estate, people who like Old Drum Real Estate, to see a snapshot of what the local real estate market's doing. But one thing I have noticed in that time period is it doesn't get a lot of feedback or likes or comments. And I think perhaps that's because the report's a little boring. Maybe people don't know what they're looking at when they look at that or why they should even care about it. So I thought I'd make this video and a series of videos, perhaps each month, with an update or a snapshot on the Johnson County real estate market. So first of all, I think about this report in a way of what are we looking at when we're looking at that report. And so that report is compiled by the Kansas City Regional Association of Realtors, which we call KCRAR, and they have a service called the Heartland Multiple Listing Service that all the real estate brokers and agents subscribe to in our area. And that's where you get listing data and you enter sales data. And so that association compiles a report every month for the whole entire Kansas City region as a whole, and then they break it down by county and some other different regions. So one of the reports that they put out is the Johnson County, Missouri report. And that's particularly the report that I care about because that's the market that we work in and we live in and we own real estate in. And real estate is a very local kind of business. So what's going on in downtown Kansas City or in Johnson County, Kansas, doesn't always reflect directly with how things are going in Johnson County, Missouri. So the data that's used to compile that report is from sales data entered by real estate agents and brokers in this market. So it does have some important things that are excluded. For instance, they're for sale by owner sales or private sales that are not done through a real estate agent or through a broker are not always entered into the multi-list system. So what we're seeing is a snapshot really of realtor related activity, which does account for most of the market, but it's important to note that you're not going to see your neighbor's house who sold it for sale by owner to his cousin or something like that. That's just not going to usually show up in these numbers. And also, when you look at the numbers, I mean, you're looking at Johnson County, Missouri, so there's a certain number of transactions that will happen in Johnson County, Missouri, and those get added to everything else that the KCRAR area that they're interested in. And so when you see a KCRAR report, it has a much higher volume of sales data and information than Johnson County, Missouri. And then you can look at reports put out by the Missouri Association of Realtors that gives you all the compiled data for the state of Missouri. And of course, you can look at National Association of Realtor reports, which gives you the sales activity for the entire country. But one thing to note why that's important is when you're looking at the Johnson County, Missouri report, there's only a limited number of transactions that happen in Johnson County, Missouri. And so sometimes the results can be skewed by one or two large transactions or by the timing of holidays and things in certain months. So when you're looking at a snapshot, you do have to take into account statistical variations that may occur that are not a reason for alarm, but just need to be understood. Okay, so I got interrupted there for a second because my dog Buck, who comes to the office with me quite a bit, enthusiastically barks at anybody who comes to the door. And so we had a little bit of dog barking. If you watch to the end, actually, I'll make a little clip of that so you can hear him barking and know why I had to stop for a second. Back to where we were talking about how the size of the market in Johnson County is somewhat small, so we have to be mindful of small swings in numbers can create a large statistical change, which may not be meaningful. So just keep an eye out for things like that. So you can think of the Johnson County update as a market snapshot that's kind of like taking your temperature or checking your blood pressure. It's something that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the local real estate market, but if you watch it over time, you can spot trends and maybe see a little bit of an indication when things are changing in the market. So if we look at January 2020's Johnson County real estate market update, we can see that there were 53 closed sales and that there are 2.1 months worth of inventory on the market right now. I'm going to post the actual report along with this video so you can look at it in more detail. But essentially what I look at in particular is that inventory number. So 2.1 months of inventory means that if no new houses were added to the market for sale, if we kept the same sales volume going that we're going right now, we would be out of houses for sale in 2.1 months. So to give you an idea of what that means, economists will say that a 6 months worth of inventory is a balanced real estate market. And if you have below 6 months, then you start to get into what real estate people call a seller's market. If you have more than 6 months supply, that's generally what they call a buyer's market. So you can see we're at 2.1 months of supply. And if we follow the trends on that, Johnson County has been in a seller's market for quite a while. In fact, one of the things I like to do with the data is every month I update a spreadsheet. And that way I can look at it, trends over a long period of time. And at the end of this video, I'm also going to share my spreadsheet with you to show you what I mean when I say we've been in a seller's market for quite a while. So I don't want to get too much into the details of the report. You can look at it for yourself. Next month when we get the new report, I plan on talking to you again about it and maybe taking a deeper dive into some of the individual metrics in the report, where that data comes from, what that means, and why you should maybe care about that if you're interested in real estate. So thank you for listening. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments or like the video, and feel free to share it with anyone who may be interested.